Kashmir, India. Population 12.5 million in the city of Srinagar. It was hit by a 7.8 magnitude earthquake and scored an 8 on the modified Mercalli scale that devastated the entire region. The epicenter of the earthquake was 15 kilometers below the surface. There were many pre-shocks, but the main quake happened at 3:50 p.m. on October 8, 2005. There were 147 aftershocks with magnitudes up to 6.2 on the Richter scale. The earthquake was caused by two continental plates. The Eurasian and the Indian plate converged into each other. In this Google Earth image, we can see where the earthquake's focus occurred. It occurred on a mountain over a convergent subduction zone. Here we have a convergent plate boundary, where one tectonic plate is being pulled down under the other tectonic plate. This process builds mountain ranges when both plates are made of continental crust. On the other hand, when there is oceanic crust subducting under continental crust, mountain ranges and volcanoes will form.
The earthquake had devastating effects on the people that lived in the area.
The large quake triggered landslides on the mountainscape surrounding the city, burying people alive within their homes. The death toll was over 745,000 and more than 106,000 were injured. Millions of people lost their homes. The buildings completely collapsed with the concrete roofs, flattening the remains, leaving the previous residents with no shelter other than tents right before the unusually harsh winter that followed. The tragedy wrecked their economy, and even a year later the city is nothing but a shell of its former self, and probably never will return to its former state.
Kashmir is in a very active seismic area since it is located on the convergent boundary between the Indian and Eurasian plate that form the mountain range around the city. Some risk factors that lead to this earthquake's destructivity was the poor infrastructure and cement roofs that collapsed when the surface wave hit, as well as the lack of earthquake monitoring facilities and poor education and pre-warning. The rebuilding of the city doesn't have much funding, so the quality of earthquake resistance is just as poor as before.
Recommendations to decrease hazards for the future are to increase public awareness of seismic activity in the region, build earthquake-resistant structures, and implement building codes. Another suggestion would be to build away from the base of the mountain so that the people are not impacted when an earthquake or landslide occurs.